name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Cole Ross.
And welcome to Best Quality Vacuum, our show examining the Vince Gilliverse, a.k.a. Breaking Bad, El Camino, Better Call Saul, that Super Bowl commercial, a couple of X-Files episodes. Yeah.
Just whatever may happen over the course of the years we're doing the show.
Yep. Just starting with his birth.
Hey y'all, I'm a baby.
I'm kind of like Yul Hauser. But I'm talented.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's a real charming it's a real don't judge a book by its voice guy. You know, like if a book is talking to you, you might not know what's inside the book. Mm-hmm. That's what you learned from Vince Gilligan.
Yes. I got a question for you, Gary.
Yeah.
Can I trust you?
You certainly can.
Okay, good.
Yeah. This episode activated my mirror neurons a lot, where I would be like, how would I react to this? And I would talk too much.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm way more of a Saul than either of these guys for this episode. I would talk a lot until eventually Tuco stepped on my neck and made me come, and then I died.
That's just natural. Just the muscles release. Yeah,
exactly. That's what they don't tell you on the battlefield. There are no virgins on the battlefield because you all come at the moment that Jerry shoots a bullet and chokes you out with a bullet.
Yeah. If you're executed by hanging, you get the rope, and then ropes.
Then you get the ropes. Yeah. Then they get the ropes. This is gross. We should save this energy. We have so much. Like so many places to put this.
We do. Yeah.
This is one of our smart shows. Re-rack. So this episode, written by George Mastras, directed by Charles Hayde, and originally aired March 15th, 2009.
Charles Hayde played somebody on Hill Street Blues.
Apparently so. I learned that from the Breaking Bad podcast.
Yeah. That's a weird one. I remember my grandparents watching that show in reruns.
Yeah. That's oof. This is plot important.
This has big season finale energy.
It really does. It feels like it could have been the season finale of the previous season.
Yeah.
It picks up right after the previous episode where Tuco kidnaps Walt and Jesse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we see the events that lead up to Tuco's death. That's something that I love about this is, hey, this big villain who you think is going to be around forever, like he's gonna be, somebody Walt's gonna be matching wits with. No, he's gone later. What's next?
It really supports my thesis that Walt, who thinks he can outsmart, he keeps lucking into things and failing forward. Like he didn't, in his mind, he outsmarted Tuco, so he's ready for the next level. He didn't outsmart Tuco. He got real lucky.
Mm-hmm.
We also get to meet Hector Salamanca, who ends up being very important to this series, but absolutely pivotally important to Better Call Saul.
Yeah. I was real surprised when they brought him back in this series, actually. Wasn't so surprised about Better Call Saul because, of course, it's a prequel, right? He's so important. But it's he doesn't even get a name here. He is just referred to as Tio, as Uncle.
Or Uncle Tio, aka ATM machine. Yeah. It's Uncle.
Yeah.
Hugely important. Played by the great Mark Margolis, who once you get into Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, you'll start seeing this guy everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. He's a really important part of the Tales from the Dark Side movie. The best segment of that. It's like not a really important part, but he's in it. He's there. This guy gets around.
Yeah. But we're going to be seeing a lot more of him as it is. And this performance is so good because, he is, and he is not a disabled person. However, as a character, he is confined to a wheelchair because he had a stroke. And he can only communicate explicitly by tapping a bell, like one of those hotel clerk bell kind of things.
While I agree with the criticisms that one of the big criticisms of Better Call Saul is that the cartel stuff is a little flat. While I agree it gets a little silly, like learning the origins of the bell is stupid. I didn't really need to know about the bell. I will go to bat for the cartel stuff in Better Call Saul in that it does add shade to this character in Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Like seeing him past his power and then seeing how scary he is when he's just like a cold-hearted, kind of charismatic, gangster, is worthwhile to me.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tuco was not supposed to, or he wasn't supposed to die here. They were going to have him be the big villain in season 2, maybe beyond. But there are 2 stories about this. Raymond Cruz said, "Hey, it's really hard to play this guy. I don't want to do it anymore."
He's mean.
Yeah.
Like Raymond Cruz, who is a nice guy, does not like playing this like psychopath. It's tough for him.
Yeah.
The other bit is that he's got he had a commitment with the closer.
Yes.
Apparently somebody watches the closer.
I think that was back when Glenn Close was still on. Glenn Close and the closer.
Glenn Close and the closers. They introduced the whole team in the second season. Which is like interesting because it's hard for me to imagine Raymond Cruz not playing Tuco.
Right.
I've never seen the closer. I'm not a fucking scroll. I don't know anyone who's ever seen the closer.
It ran at the same time as Ray Donovan, so I could.
I guess couldn't keep that shit straight. The Breaking Bad podcast continues just to be an absolute waste of my time.
Okay.
Not being, not trying to be mean, but they spend a lot of time just complimenting the actors, and then a lot of time, a little bit of time telling me trivia that I could just read online, and then a lot of time talking about things that I'm sure are interesting if like you're talking about your own work. So the reason why I bring that up is because they had to like prepare yourselves for this trivia. They shot the episodes out of order this season because of when Tuco was available.
Right.
That takes up like 10 minutes on the fucking podcast.
Oof.
It's excruciating. I can't know now hear now more about these production details. I don't care. I know that you like the actors you work with. Of course you do. They're great.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's very gracious to just like compliment them every episode, but man, is it making for bad content.
Yeah, I wonder if it's wise to cut bait for the season and then like check back next time,
come back,
see if the format gets better. Because I wasn't listening in season 2. I think maybe my record on podcast was different back when this was airing, and I was just hungry for anything. But also it might just be that I wasn't listening at this point, and specifically Kelly got better. Yeah.
She might. She's fine. I don't dislike any of the people, and you get to listen to Vince Gilligan talk, which is like very sweet. Yeah. But it's not providing information in a weird way. Yeah. It's like very weirdly information empty.
Yeah.
As an experience, and like I don't know. There's another half to this episode, which is all about Walt's family. Walt just to them, he just disappeared. They're going to be out searching for them, which eventually leads to Hank looking for Jesse's car, which ultimately leads to him having a shootout with Tuco.
Yeah. One of the big twists of fate here, and kind of the start of Hank's transformation into like a reluctant Superman kind of guy.
Yeah. This fucks him up. PTSD super cop.
Yeah.
That he becomes. There's also strap in as well. There's some season 2 weirdness.
Yeah.
A couple specific bits we're going to talk about. Without further ado, let's get into it though.
Let's do. We open up with a pep talk. Hank is given a briefing to the DEA folks in the office there about Tuco Salamanca.
We actually open up with a cold open first.
Shit!
Still
you're
doing
right.
This thing.
Yeah. I skipped over it. Yeah.
The cold open of Jesse's car, the hydraulics bouncing in it in the desert. The windows are all shattered. There are bullets everywhere.
Yeah.
We know something bad's happened. This is the end of the episode, with the implication, of course, being Jesse got killed.
Yeah.
Here.
Thank you. Yes. And then we get the title sequence, and then we get Hank given the pep talk. They've raided all of his known locations, but not found him. So this is a manhunt.
There's a bit here where when he's giving a briefing on who Tuco is, where I copped a connection to Better Call Saul that I don't think I've seen mentioned anywhere.
Which one?
They talk about Tuco killing a meth dealer when they were stealing the meth trade.
Okay.
Him killing a guy when they were stealing the meth trade from the bikers. That's the same story that Nacho tells when he's explaining to Mike that Tuco's got to go. He's like, Tuco used to give him this truth beam or whatever, his lie detector. He'd stand right next to him, and then he shot him with a shotgun, and part of his skull got stuck in my shoulder.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That's referring to that event.
Huh.
So real weird little connection there that I haven't seen brought up online or anything.
Yeah, no, I didn't remember that, but that is a good pull.
Yeah, it's just kind of really cool attention to detail when they reference the past in Better Call Saul.
Yeah. Man, I can't imagine going through and just like writing down all of those pertinent details about that seem throwaway.
That's the kind of work that would kill me. Yeah. Like there are people who are really good at that kind of shit, like extremely patient and detail oriented people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that like I'm okay at picking up that stuff. Like my brain gets those little things passively, but if I have to actively like scour something,
right?
Woo. That's murder for Mary for Gary. No, it's murder for Mary, as they say. That's the old expression.
I like them back in the 90s. I like them back in the 90s.
Yeah, Murder for Mary was pretty good.
Yeah, no, they're
actually
underrated.
Really punk before they. Yeah, it's kind of like a cracker story. Yeah, so he's briefing everybody. They haven't found him, and he's trying to get everyone pumped. You know, he's like, I'm going to need you guys to get a hard on for finding and killing this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to the HR ladies who just kind of smirk and like, how about you grow tumescent with anticipation?
Nah.
You know, he wants everyone to get a huge murder boner.
Yeah.
For this guy.
Oh, and he lists off the rap sheet saying, hey, you know, we figure with Crazy 8 disappearing, you know, he doesn't like competition. Maybe, you know, he's responsible for informant getting popped. But most of all, he's this cartel connection.
Yeah. The reason why they are going after him sincerely now is they found a fingerprint.
Yeah.
They found a footprint. It's real junior detective shit. I'm picking up hairs. They when they found Gonzo and Nodo's at the dump, they managed to pull a bloody fingerprint. Hank also says at this point, he's like, if you haven't seen the picture of this guy with his arm, go to my website.
It's real funny stuff.
This episode is really pushing the like Hank's Grizzly trophies. You know, we talked about the legality of that, and you were like, oh, people definitely do that. But he also is hosting them on his website, and then eventually is gifted a part of this dude's body. Like, he's like a fucking predator.
Just hangs them up in his ship.
Yeah, like, it's the ethics of Hank doing this stuff is very funny. Him having a personal website that just pictures of corpses with him smiling next to him. Like extremely normal behavior, Hank.
I want to roll back. You talked about the grill being part of his body. Do you think that his actual teeth are in there?
No, but I think that it's still pretty close.
It's not good behavior.
You know, like if he kept a prosthetic leg from somebody, that's still pretty gross and trophy and weird, and seems like it'd be highly illegal.
I think the fact that it's that it's decorative to me makes that less weird. Like I don't know, we're getting into like weird little like essential things, but to me, like a decorative, like a piece of jewelry, like keeping somebody's ring as opposed to keeping somebody's hearing or keeping somebody's, you know, I don't know.
Maybe it's just it being in his mouth all the time.
Maybe
that makes it feel very intimate. Like it's a piece of jewelry you gum consistently. I don't know. It really seems super illegal to me. They don't let you keep part of the criminal or like a trophy from the criminals you kill. You know?
Hey, if it's preserved in lucite, so any trace evidence could still be
still be drilled out in the future if they need to clone Tuco.
Oh yeah. Oh, like, see, there we go.
Tuco and the Clonosaurus.
Yeah. So he finishes this up and he's like, let's get this guy, doing chants and kind of stuff. Yeah. And then walk out into the hallway and Hank says to Gomi, they ain't gonna find him.
They're gonna find him. It was a really good comedy beat. It's like he's already fled to Mexico. And he's like, Hank goes like, listen, I might need to take some personal time. Gomi questions this. And he's like, listen, like Walt's gone.
Yeah.
You know, he disappeared. I got to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And Gomi says, you don't think he, Hank, just kind of makes a grunt with the family thinking he maybe killed himself, which I would also think if I were the family.
Mean, it is a very real possibility. It hangs over this entire episode. And in real life, this is one of the scariest things that could possibly happen.
Oh, dude. Yeah. After watching this episode, I was like taking out the trash, and left the door open, just had the screen door closed. And I was thinking like, what if like Tuco rolled up and kidnapped me? Or if Raymond Cruz did it, like it would be really hard because I would have nothing to explain to Liv, like why I just literally disappeared.
He did give Aaron Paul a concussion this episode.
Yeah. Well, he gave it himself. That's one of the things I got from the podcast. He got it for throwing himself through the door window because Raymond wouldn't do it.
I gotcha. Okay, that's good to know because the websites say that it is Tuco who gave Aaron Raymond.
He gave him the beating, but then the throwing through the fence, which gave him the concussion, he did himself. Okay. Or throwing through the screen door. There you go. There you justified yourself. Breaking Bad podcast.
Yeah. So terrifying thing to have happen, and the family. Just I love Walt Jr. in this episode. Really.
Mm-hmm.
That's the next one too. But Hank pulls up to Walt's house and does his detective thing, looking in the Aztec. It's left there. It's weird that he is gone, but his car is not. And Skylar's inside talking to.
He goes and does some business at the wheel as well. At the wheel well. Yeah. He goes in. I was like, this is really early for tracking shit. But that's for all the world. That's what it looks like is happening. It's the same kind of semiotics of later when they pull something from the wheel well.
Yeah. I didn't notice that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little unclear exactly what's happening there. So somebody, can certainly write in and I'm sure somebody will and correct the scene who watched it a bunch of times, but he does something with the wheel well as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
no. Skylar's inside talking to Detective Tim, who is very frustratingly useless.
Yes.
She's listing all this stuff that she's done.
Seems like a well-meaning guy, but also, she seems like she's doing all the work there. The detective is trying to get something to follow up on, ask if Walt's been depressed. And she said he's been withdrawn, like a little withdrawn. She is being a little withholding. Like he's been being fucking weird as hell.
Yeah.
She's, and that's very human to withhold that. Like it's a little embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah. And she talks about it being agitated last night when they got this phone call, and she asks about it, like, "Hey, were you able to find anything about it?" The detective gets quiet, and there's this large unspoken thing, like, geez, there's cheating happening here.
Yeah, which would be a reason to run off.
Yes.
They walk. Detective Tim walks out with Hank, and Hank says, "Yeah, I ran that call. That doesn't exist. Must be a second cell phone." And they both go, legendary Clithound Walter White is on the prowl.
We're going to see him run his game with the with the principal. It's not very good game. He is not. He's not serving. No,
you do not have to hand it to him. You can't get it. So we go out to the desert. Tuco is staying in the desert, throwing away and deconstructing Walt and Jesse's cell phones.
Yeah.
Just out in the middle of nowhere. And then some season 2 weirdness here. They walk over the car where Walt and Jesse are in there. Walt is pounding. Jesse is resigned. Mm-hmm. They're sweating. It seems horrible. When the trunk opens, Walt sees a fantasy Skylar, like a Force Ghost of Skylar saying, "I understand." That's some season 2 bullshit right there. That wouldn't happen later. That sucks. Like, it sucks so bad. It's so silly.
Angel Skylar.
I hate Angel Skylar so much. I wish I didn't. Like, it's a great episode, but like, it's so fucking silly.
Go to hell, Angel Skylar.
It's really like, it's not how hallucinations work.
Nope.
I don't know. It's real on the nose.
A little fluffy.
Poor Anna Gunn had to go all the way out to the desert for just one day to shoot the worst scene in this episode.
They could have shot that anywhere. They were just shooting up. They were just shooting up out of the trunk of the car. Yeah,
that is true. But it's actually Tuco, the opposite of Angel Skylar. And Jesse starts attacking him because Jesse's like, he's just gonna fucking kill us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love this exchange. Jesse just gets a leap on him, hoping the surprise will help him. But Tuco manages to get a hold of him, and Jesse says, "I hope I bleed like a mother. That way you have to clean it up." And Tuco responds, "It's your ride. I don't got to clean jack."
Yeah.
Get your blood on your car.
Well, yeah, and also just like I would have killed you if I needed to, or if I wanted to. Like, you'd already be dead at this point. You idiot. He gestures them into the house.
Yeah.
There.
Skylar is out canvassing the neighborhood with Marie, putting on missing person flyers. We're going to be seeing these throughout the season. Yep. And Skylar thanks Marie for helping her. This is the first time they've really spoken in a while since the tiara incident that looms large in all of our heads.
Yeah, it's the main plot of season 2, 3, and part of season 6. They, and we don't get to see the reconciliation. It's just like, she'd go to her sister because,
of course,
any port in a storm, right?
Yeah.
Marie says, I don't think he'll hurt himself. And Skylar just kind of nods. Like there's no help in this.
Right.
And then Maria tries to clear the air, the Tira thing. And she's doing it in a very Marie way.
Yeah. I just find it bewildering that. And Skylar's expression, the daggers that she stares at Marie when she says, Marie, not now.
Yeah. It's not the time for it.
It really isn't the time, Marie.
Yeah. Junior is printing out flyers in the nursery and the camera lingers on the diaper box that has the gun and the cash. Yeah. Nobody finds it because like perhaps Walt's hiding in the diaper box. Like the baby's not there yet. I don't know what they're trying to do with this camera.
Yeah.
but yeah.
I was, so this episode of the next, I was watching when I was over at the house taking care of my grandma. Over my parents' house, and I had to. I wanted to keep her on top of what was happening, so like I was pausing and saying like, okay, so that's who this is, that's what's going on. I was like, all right, so we hid the money in there. It was a weird way to watch the episode, but also it helped me keep track of stuff. Like, okay, with fresh eyes near me, what is being communicated here? Yeah.
It's kind of, it's kind of deft. Like, I guess like the other thing it could be communicating is like reminder, like this dude has a kid, on the way, like the stakes, I guess. But
I mean, it's also a pretty good, it's a pretty big clue. If he has just rolls of unaccounted for cash and a gun, hidden right there, like,
it's a huge clue. Like absolutely a huge clue. There's just it's better hidden than it looks like it's trying to be communicated.
Yeah.
Then we go to hell. This would be hell. Everything about this is hell. I've said before, like I would feel very uncomfortable in movies and stuff where they show people angrily sometimes speaking a language I don't speak. Would make me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then I grapple with that because I'm like, is that bad? And I'm like, no, it's not fucking bad. You just can't understand that people are mad. You don't like, that's natural. But this seems awful to me. Like all of this shit seems like the scariest thing in the world.
I mean, the fact that Hector is not actually remarked upon in any of this.
Yeah.
It's real.
It's like Resident Evil 7 shit.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it, because like Walt and Jesse are very preoccupied with Tuco, and Tuco's more preoccupied with being a meth maniac. And like Walt and Jesse are just sitting on a couch across from this man in a bathrobe with an oxygen tank and who is not speaking. We don't even see or hear him ring the bell at this point. He is just nonverbal and it's kind of staring at them.
Extremely, extremely Lynchian.
Yeah.
This unspeaking, person who's just not remarked upon.
It's like that one hotel room. When we went to Milwaukee that one year, that was like
when we went into the guest lounge.
Yeah, the guest lounge at that one convention.
It's like one person like having the loudest sleep apnea I've ever heard in my life. Just like in the middle of broad daylight sleeping while everyone comes in, and
everyone feeds off of the crudité. Feeds off of the veggie.
No plates or forks.
The veggie tray on the hotel bed.
And then asked like, "Hey, do you guys have any forks or plates?" Or I think no. Like that was one of the more Tuco experiences, because the other guy, when I grabbed the water from the mini fridge, he's like, "You can't have that." No, just kidding. And said it in that same voice the whole time. It's like, why are you fucking tough manning me, man? I'm in the VIP room. At least pretend like we're Retronauts level. Jesus.
Oh man, very uncomfortable situation. Also
incredible.
The incredibly loud Spanish language movie playing.
Yes. Yeah. God, it's a real treasured memory of just like wandering into surreal place.
Yeah. I mean, the Spanish language movie here in the show.
I was just thinking back to the Milwaukee guest room. It's incredible. So they're watching this black and white Spanish language movie. This is from an old Spanish comedian.
The movie's called El Mago or something like that.
Yeah. Tuco brings them a jug of water. Walt basically just body checks Jesse to get the water first and hands it to him. Real asshole move.
Yeah. And Tuco has them empty their pockets and laughs when he looks at Walt's wallet and looks at his ID. Like, Walter Hartwell White.
I thought your name was Heisenberg.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a pseudonym. Business name. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's real happy. He's laughing about the wallet photos, showing Walt next to Junior and Skylar. I like doing business with a family man. There's always a lot of collateral. This is a crucial piece of information that Walt did not want to go getting.
Yes. Yep. And this is worst case scenario. Again, very scary. Jesse has a condom in his wallet. This is the idea that, you just did that in case you got like laid out in the world. As one day I started becoming sexually active casually, like with dating and stuff, I realized that most people keep condoms where you would have sex.
Yes.
Like it's not a thing. You don't have to have this silly condom ring in your wallet. Like you can, but then I also realized like there's tons of sex stuff that isn't penetration as well. So like worst case scenario, you end up in an alley and it's got to happen. I don't know. You can do mouth stuff. Like you don't have to do Sid and Nancy humps against an alley wall.
Yeah. I used to, like, if I was going to a party or something, I would keep one.
Me too. I did it too. I'm just saying in retrospect it was it was me being a little silly.
And even in times when I was going to a place and didn't have one, the girl had it. Like the girl had them because she's interested.
She's interested. She's got a vested interest in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a participant.
Yeah. She gets the trophy at the end. Tuco grabs Walt by the neck and does his lie detector. Gets real close to him, stares in the eye and goes, "Answer you one thing. Can I trust you?" Yeah. Walt says yes, and Tuco believes him. There's a really nice little bit here of Walt being a better liar. Here, like when early on when he says stuff, Tuco believes it. And Tuco explains what's going on. The DEA raided his place, but he had a bad feeling about it. So he jetted. They got the whole crew except for Gonzo.
Yeah. Gonzo's not accounted for. He says, I can see the future, as he's, just craving for meth. Like, that's why I bugged out before the raid. And then he goes off about never trusting the ones that you love. I like this performance a lot. It's selling lines that should fall flat.
Yes. Like if you wrote down on a script, like never trust, the lesson is you never trust the ones you love. What kind of embarrassing high school band shit is that? But Raymond Cruz does it really well. Like it plays as scary and unpredictable.
I mean,
on the screen.
It like he is selling it as something Tuco would say in the depths of whatever he is in the depths of. Whatever you would call what a Tuco is.
Yeah, wonderful performance here, just kind of across the board.
Yeah, but he sounds incredibly betrayed and hurt by this as he's screaming it.
Well, we're gonna find out this is his brother-in-law as well. That comes through in this episode or the next one, I can't remember, but this is kind of family. That's why he felt comfortable being like, we can't do him like that, Tuco.
Yes,
he's got a little bit of familial protection. Jesse, Walt and Jesse are like, wait, you're saying that you would kill him in the future tense, kind of playing their hand a little bit, but basically they think that he killed him.
Yeah, they think that he killed Gonzo because he was a loose end and would be coming for them next, right?
Yeah. Nobody has the right impression. It was just an accident, and both sides have acted against their best interest.
Yeah, out of panic.
The wake of this accident, out of panic.
Yeah,
Jesse tries to relate to him, like, yeah, I'd ice him too. Shut up. Okay. Again, very relatable.
the okay, like just Jesse stepping out on a limb, like, yeah, I'd ice him too, like, just trying to get on his side about this, agree with him, just shut up. And then Jesse is just completely broken by it. Okay.
Yeah.
He says it so timidly.
It's really good. So Tuco is going to get high. He needs to get high. And he grabs the meth. This is the ricin meth that they have in their pocket. They're going to switch with them. It smells bad. It smells like cheese. And Jesse says it's really good, and he basically does the thing that Walt suggested. Like it gets you insanely high. Like the thing that Walt was, a fool for saying earlier. It's like, yeah, it'll work.
It's very important that he says, "Oh, it's killer," because Jesse is about as subtle as a wrecking
you for
ball.
Dinner. It's ways to cook Millhouse. It's just he's selling it the same way Walt did, basically. Plausibly, and Tuco's not looking for clues at this point. Tuco, says like, listen, I'm going to take you, Walt, to a super lab in Mexico. Like, we're going to make a lot of money. And another line I really like in the show, Walt's like, I can't just uproot my life and leave. I've got a family. And Tuco goes, you'll get a new one. It's fucking scary and awful,
He doesn't say it like a suggestion, like, hey,
no.
whatever, just you'll get a new one. Like, it's like a threat. It's like, that is something you're going to do.
You a family.
You will provide for these people.
This is, Jesse's like, I can't just uproot as well. And he's like, I'm not, who's talking to you? Tuco's hatred and disgust for Jesse is great. And that's when Jesse says, my place is I cook that super meth that you have in the bed, and then he can't stop talking.
No.
Which is their downfall. Even though, like, I in my head I was like, what if this had worked, right? So first of all, nothing would change because Hank would still show up.
Yep.
Second though, they would end up in Mexico where Tuco got the flu and died. Here in a couple of days, that wouldn't have been good.
Yeah.
I don't this is not the near miss that they think it is.
The cousins wouldn't know specifically what happened, but they would definitely kill Walt and Jesse.
Yeah, they don't seem super reasonable.
No,
but he's like, oh, it's got a secret ingredient. Tuco asks what it is, and he says chili powder. Chili. And Tuco, perhaps the most unbelievable fact in this whole episode is that Tuco hates chili powder. I don't know, man. I like it's pretty essential in a lot of Mexican cooking.
I think maybe he's a little bit too authentic for chili powder. I think he wants to cut up his own. I think he wants to do his own seasoning as opposed to using a powder. I kind of believe
no, chili powder is its own seasoning. It's not a melange of things, I don't think.
It's dried up and powdered mix. It's like dried up and powdered chilies. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he's adding chilies.
He wants to use his own stuff. Yeah. I believe it. Yeah,
maybe. But like I don't know. I've been in some authentic Mexican cooking situations, and they still use like cumin and shit.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a weird thing to hate to me, especially when you're snorting it. You're not eating it. Like it's. They seem unrelated. Like I buy that Jesse oversold it, and just sold past the close and stuff. Like all that stuff works.
I mean, Tuco also snorts the stuff as opposed to smoking it. I think Jesse would be a little bit more like, oh yeah, chili powder, that's a great thing to smoke. And he's like, no, chili powder, like, it's irritating. Why would I put that up my nose?
Well, I bet you meth is pretty irritating. I don't. Yeah. I bet you. I don't think that's a concern anymore.
I'm also. Why would I put that up my nose as I'm talking about snorting meth? I'm obviously joking about
that. Like that, I would definitely take up my nose as long as it's pure. The point is, he fucked it up. Yeah. To their eyes. So he pulls out his own meth.
Why would I poison myself with brown liquor? Only gin for me.
Yeah. And he's gonna shoot Jesse in the head. And Walt says, I need Jesse as my partner. And then he uses leverage. So Walt is being a dick. He took the water first, all this stuff, but he really doesn't want Jesse to die. Listen, if Jesse doesn't go, I don't go. Like I have this leverage over you. I'm the one who makes the good meth.
Yes. It's real sudden when Tuco pulls out the gun. It's basically Frank from It's Always Sunny. He takes the rip and he's like, all right, let's do this.
Tuco says, my cousins are driving up right now to grab me. He looks to Jesse's, you better hope they have room in the trunk. Like, you can come, but we're not going to treat you with respect.
Yeah. Back over at the family, Junior is getting ready to go for the train station. Skylar wants to do it herself, but Hank and Marie talk her into staying and getting some rest.
Yeah, she hasn't slept. Sorry, I said badly timed water. Marie says, the fact that they haven't found something bodes well. They haven't found a body. They would have smelled something. Just awful. Marie being awful. And Skylar says we have no leads. Marie says, what about the second cell phone? Hank's real pissed. They were trying to save this from Skylar until they had more information.
Yeah, it's not fair, really, to give her another thing to worry about or think about, right?
Yeah. Marie, not emotionally intelligent.
No.
So Hank explains what a second phone call could mean.
Yeah. Everyone has a secret, big or it's a big one or a little one, right?
Yeah.
And Marie kind of corroborates this. Like, Skylar, remember, he was hiding his cancer for weeks. Maybe this has something to do with the weed. Maybe he's addicted and owes money to his dealer.
It's a very funny situation. I owe my weed dealer money. He's gonna kidnap me. Yeah.
But I need it so bad.
I can't Can't get away from it. Skylar's like, you don't get hooked on pot like that. And they go, how do you know? You didn't even know he had a second cell phone. Marie is lording that she has the knowledge over him. Marie is kind of the fucking worst in many ways. I was just thinking about this episode. Like, it's played for comedy and stuff. I couldn't tolerate being around Marie.
No,
like people who, if they know a little secret that you don't know, have to like lord it over you. This is one of the worst qualities a human can have.
Yeah, if I was Skylar, I would probably send her as far away as possible.
Yeah, I would have divorced my sister.
I mean, just even for this, like in extremis, hey, maybe go across town. Like, I don't know, maybe go down to cross state lines, go down to Nogales, fly her there.
It's possible that Walt is in the Granite State.
Yeah.
Why don't you go there and check out? I bought you a one-way ticket. Go check it out. I don't know, man. Marie gets on my nerves in this episode.
Yeah.
Because this is serious shit, right? Like, this would be the time to be quiet. You summon your emotional, your reserves, your empathy as much as you can. This shit is really scary. I'm not even a family member, and I was feeling that from this, God, man, I would be absolute baby steps walking on eggshells around Skylar around this stuff.
No.
She's 7 months fucking pregnant. Like, Jesus, Marie.
Yeah. You're here to help.
I can't believe you start the Tiara cartel in season 4.
I can't believe it's like riveting content. Like, I'm so sorry you had to hurt so many people to get there.
One of the best character redemptions in all time is Marie becomes Tiara Kingpin of Albuquerque.
Oh man. But Skylar is telling Hank, hey, grasp at straws. And that's what gets him to follow this weed dealer kind of line, going over to the Pinkman family home. He's obviously already checked Jesse's house, and he is moved up to his parents here. We get to see the terrible Mrs. Pinkman again.
Yes. Also, lest anybody at me about something, I know I keep saying Maria instead of Marie. My bad.
Oh yeah.
So he goes to the house. He sees Jesse's mom, and they sit down and have a chat. Is going pretty well. She eventually says, why are you looking for Jesse? Are you a cop? He's like, no, I'm with the DEA. He starts lying about it, and then realizes like, that's real illegal. I can't not identify myself.
Yeah, like there's no like that everything, and there's no guarantee that this is not going to involve, this person I know is doing shady stuff. As loath as I am to say it, Mrs. Pinkman's in the right here.
Yeah, it's very. There's a parallel with this scene and the scene later with Hector, which we get in the next episode. Yes. Don't talk to cops. Is the correct move. Like, she doesn't, there's a little love lost for her son, but she's also not going to narc him out. Yeah. He explains basically what he wants. He's like, and she says, listen, I couldn't get you in touch with Jesse. He hasn't been in touch with me over a month. He asks about her car, and she says, if he had spent half as much time and money on his education as that ridiculous bouncing car. Yeah. So this gives Hank the clue he needs to have Gomi run a low jack check on a low rider to try to find the car. Yeah.
Not everybody's going to know what LoJack is. LoJack is like a stolen car finding, like tracking service.
Yeah. And a guy you shouldn't trust with money.
Is that a reference to something that I don't know?
No, that's a reference to a guy I know who hangs out behind Arby's and will loan you money at horrible interest rates.
LoJack is a user.
Yeah. He's a user, an abuser, a 2-time user. So Tuco is cooking a delicious looking lunch.
Oh my God.
We were talking about this in the green room. He's got meth money, so he gets to just eat flank steak, like a regular taco filling.
Yeah. And he's cooking on this just magnificent looking flat top griddle kind of thing.
He's got the oil in the little squirt bottle. So you can spray and I this is some real gringo shit that we're doing, being very impressed by this. But it is very impressive.
It looks very It looks very tasty.
Looks awesome.
Jesse and Walt are over whisper yelling at each other about like smooth move boosting my gun and then leaving it in your house.
Yeah. Okay, Chili P. This is them showing they assume, even before they verify this, that Hector is a vegetable.
Yes.
Walt changes the channel. So they're doing this, giving away the game even beforehand, but then Walt changes the channel and sees that Hector doesn't respond. So gets up and waves his hand in his face. Hector's incredibly canny.
Yes.
This is awesome. The absolute badass shit.
Yeah. Well, they changed the channel because there's a news report about No Dose and Gonzo.
Yeah. And then when Hector doesn't notice, like, oh yeah, there's a Hector here.
Yes.
So Jesse's suggesting things to do. He's like, hey, we can jump Tuco. I don't know, hit him with something. And he holds up Walt holds up the fly swatter that's there. Jesse says, like, you're already on your way out, man. Shouldn't you sacrifice yourself for me?
So my life is worth it here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Walt says that they can try the meth again, and Jesse shoots that down. It's just like, unless you're going to get him to booty bump, and he's made it pretty clear how he feels about chili powder. So yeah.
And I would have killed for, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 script pages of them trying to get Tuco to booty bump.
We formulated
what? You're telling me gonna put this in my ass? It's tight. Can't fit it in there.
Jeez.
That was dumb. Sorry.
That was
stupid.
That was very stupid. It's specially formulated for rectal absorption, they could say.
Yeah, it's special. Yeah. He's that kind of scientist. He handles the chemistry. I handle the user experience. Yeah. So what their actual plan is also stupid. The idea is food's done. Tuco's, eat. It's gonna be a long ride. As Tuco starts dealing with Hector, Walt starts lacing the food. He's not lacing it with ricin, which has no flavor. He's lacing it with crystal methamphetamine, which Tuco would take one bite of, be like, you put meth in my tacos, and then murder them both.
Yes.
I don't know what the end game for this was. Like, all of their actual plans would have failed really hard. The only thing that saves them is pure luck.
Yes.
In this.
Yeah.
Which I think is important to their, like, unearned confidence, or Walt specifically, his unearned confidence in the series.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I just think it's going to happen every time. I think so. Something about him that got him out of this. But as they're putting the meth in, Tuco's wheeling Hector around, and Hector sees it.
Yep. So he starts dinging his bell. I love Tuco being very frustrated by this. It makes sense. He's like, I feed you first, or I feed myself first. That's the deal. Then he thinks, oh, you want your food. He switches the thing. And Hector, using his limited mobility, slides the plate onto the floor.
Yeah.
Tuco gets furious.
Yeah. Just a cranky old man kind of thing. Very annoyed, like one would get when they're dealing with a, disabled loved one.
Yeah. It's a real thing, right?
Yes.
Like the frustration with this. Tuco is not good at expressing himself or being patient. He's Tuco, but this is a well observed.
Yeah. And there's absolutely menacing. Hector, we cut to the commercial break. Hector is pointing at Walt and just giving him the meanest stare. Like, he knows. Yeah.
This is going to happen. A little bit later, Tuco is sport shooting deer with an AK-47, doing meth. Just killing time. And Hector is dinging his bell. At first, it seems like he's randomly dinging, but I don't recognize the SOS pattern. But this is the SOS pattern.
It's clever. I like it.
He's very smart.
I did recognize it. It sounded random at first, and I was like, "Oh yeah, no, he's totally. That's what you would do if you had that. Like, SOS is a pattern that a lot of people know." Yeah.
No. He's just staring at Walt, furious. Tuco comes in and he's like, "You mad dogging him?" He's having fun infantilizing his uncle.
Yeah.
He goes, "You don't like them, do you?" And then he takes him and he thinks about it. Why don't you like them? Like you're not just making this up.
Yeah. The wheels are turning.
Yep. Jesse, is like, oh man, just that we changed the channel. He was watching one of those telenovelas with those big titty mamas on it, and he got mad. And Tuco is that he laughs like, is that why? You wanted your mamacitas? And then Tio doesn't ring the bell.
Yeah.
And this is great. This is incredibly tense. It reminds me a lot of the Boogie Nights scene with the fireworks.
Oh yeah.
Like this is great TV making.
Just add, like, as we are waiting, like you're just hoping at some point Hector's understanding is going to break down, or Tuco is going to ask the wrong questions. But he but he gets to it. Like, yes, are they punking me? Ding. Yeah. Like, he totally put it together. They're doing something.
Yep. They don't know what it is, but they know, Tuco doesn't know exactly what.
Yeah.
He says it's something with the food at some point. There. So then we cut to Jesse being thrown outside. This was a thing where the script called for Raymond Cruz to throw Jesse out, but him and Aaron Paul discussed it, and he's like, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
And he did it so hard that he gave himself a concussion, and they made sure to use that shot. He got up for a second, and then he had to go to the hospital. So.
I didn't. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I wasn't sure. It's one of those things. Whenever somebody gets injured on a set, like, do you use that take? Like, is it? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So this is a great little bit of Walt gamesmanship here.
Yes.
Tuco's about to execute Jesse. He's like, "Tell me what you did, Walter. Tell me what you did." And Walt sees Jesse grab a rock, so he realizes, like, me actually telling him is the only way to distract him.
Yes.
And I love this delivery. All of this is super good.
Yeah. We tried to poison you. We tried to poison you because you're an insane, degenerate piece of filth and you deserve to die. He's saying it like, yeah, he is a big badass, right? Yeah. This is not meth voice.
Yeah. And he's right. Tuco has got to go.
Yeah.
Jesse hits him in the head. Walt gets the assault rifle. There's a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
Tuco gets the upper hand, and Walt has a, like, I can't, shoot two people in combat without taking a huge penalty to my 2 hit roll.
Yeah. Not when they're grappling.
Yeah, when they're grappling. This is a rules nightmare, Walt.
God damn it, 3rd edition.
Now they're getting into a chase. What do we do? But Jesse managed to self-advocate. He grabs the gun from behind Tuco's back and shoots him in the stomach.
Just to self-advocate?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting funny on purpose, man. Okay. I'm in a good mood.
Okay.
I'm feeling a mastery of my words. I'm digging it.
Okay. No, I like it. I just wanted to, I was expressing admiration through disbelief.
He self-advocates.
Yeah.
He's a real
he asserts himself right in the gut.
Yeah.
And huge mistake.
Yeah.
Because they kick Tuco down into the shallow pit. His gut shot, one of the most painful ways to die. And Walt just says, let him bleed.
Always a mistake.
Always a mistake.
It's one I don't like the movie, but yeah, exactly. Like the movie Zombieland, which I think sucks. I do like that they're basically like, that's rule number 1. Like,
yeah,
it's worth a bullet to be sure. In this kind of thing. Again, I keep thinking of alternate realities. If they had just shot Tuco there, right? They would have gotten the car, left, and then Hank would have just found a dead Tuco there, which would have been really interesting.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, basically him shooting him there. But if he just found Tuco already dead, it would have been, I think he would have been more suspicious, than he was.
Yeah. Why was Jesse's car here momentarily?
Yeah. Since that's where he came. So yeah, interesting stuff. So they go to leave, but Tuco has the keys, and they see a car pulling up. They think it's the cousins, so they go to run. Tuco drags himself out of the pit and goes over to the car. And the car is pulling up. It's Hank. Hank thinks Tuco is Jesse.
The moment when I saw this, like when I realized what was happening, like, oh no. Such a good tense moment.
It's really good. Like this show is all, or this episode's like all action and stuff. And I've seen people talk about, like, Breaking Bad is more of a drama, or rather Better Call Saul. Breaking Bad is a crime thriller. And like, I don't think that's entirely true. There's tons of really good character stuff in Breaking Bad, but it does crime thriller really well.
Yeah.
Like this episode is a crime thriller with lots of like chilling, suspenseful near misses and shit.
Yeah.
Really good at building tension.
Agreed.
Yeah. He realizes it's Tuco. It's not Jesse. He says, "Hey, easy now," as Tuco is eyeballing this assault rifle. And they start a firefight against each other. When you're gut shot, it's maybe not that easy to aim an assault rifle.
Yeah. So, can't blame him for spending a clip just trying to figure out which way the bullets go.
Yeah. It's what I would have done.
Yeah. But he grabs the assault rifle, and this trips the hydraulics. So that's the bouncing car, and they both run out of bullets at about the same time, and they're both behind cover. And the only thing that saves Hank is he is faster at getting his gun reloaded, and he is able to put good.
Yeah, he gets his gun reloaded, and he does a thing that's exceedingly video gamey, like a thing I have done infinite numbers of times in video games, which is hold my crosshair above where a guy is going to pop his head up after cover. It's like what you do 90% of the time in Human Revolution.
Yep.
You know, like I was just like, man, that's fucking
like, is that an actual tactic?
Yeah, I felt weirdly like related to it. And then as soon as the head's there, you just tap. You know, it's he did a Human Revolution on him.
Yeah.
So yeah, he gets reloaded sooner and then gets locked in.
Yes.
You know, there. And he goes over to inspect the body, and Hank realizes Walt recognizes it's Hank, and just like, we gotta fucking go.
You know? This is not a good scene. This scene got even worse.
I cannot explain this. Like, I'm glad to be alive, but fuck this. And he runs away. And then we hear the ding, a little cheeky, you know, but we hear the ding at the end.
Yeah. Well, after all those shots, Hector would be ringing the bell. Like,
he probably would be ringing the bell. Yeah. Somebody tell me what's going on. You know,
could have at least wheeled him to the window. Give him a show.
Good watch. Yeah. And that's the end of the episode. A really good, again, really tons of suspense. Very like kind of simple carbs, a lot of it. You know, like, you know, just guns go blam blam. Yeah. To go big scary. But it's really well done. And like, I really like this episode.
I mean, like, it's the simple cars, but the kind of bottle episode drama of them in that shitty house in the desert.
Yeah.
You know, and just trying to figure out exactly how with it T.O. is, like, selling it as good horror, but also just really, really good tension cranking.
Yes.
Also a detail that we didn't call out, after Hector brushes the food off onto the floor, Tuco's like, "Oh, you're ungrateful. You know, I put you up in this sweet nice country house."
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like, how did Tuco go from, or what happened in between? You know, Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. You know, because Hector has kind of a rise again in this section. Like, he's not, you know, a power player in Breaking Bad, but he's still a person of interest in Breaking Bad. And he goes back to the old folks home that he's in at the end of Better Call Saul as well.
Yes.
You know, so something happened, something caused him to get out.
Maybe Tuco got out of prison, and because there was somebody to take care, the Hector's care couldn't be paid for. So they got this place, possibly. And then after Tuco died, there was no family left. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. The one thing that I really do like, that I think is the counteraction to the simple carby, you know, action packedness of this episode, is that the consequences are real and far reaching.
Yeah.
This is going to set up a lot for you know, the next episode, Walt dealing with the fugue state and everything, and then the Jesse is broke arc, which is really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of portraying Walt's callousness.
Yeah.
That we're going to have, like, the fallout from this is really great. And I really love when a work takes its fallout really seriously. You know, this has consequences, like things would happen from this. It's not just fun.
Yeah.
You know,
there's no like high-fiving after this. There's no high-fiving and then off to the next adventure. In fact, when Walter tries to assert like, hey, we can go back to the status quo at the end of the next one, it's like, are you fucking delusional?
Yeah. Super good. Yeah. Good episode. Thanks everybody for listening.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. If you'd like to support the show and the whole network of stuff that we do, you can go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv, get a bunch of stuff. At $5 per month, you get bonus episodes of Watch Out for Fireballs and Abject Suffering. You get Unfilmable. That's another just kind of general media show. We talk about horror movies.
Yeah. We would like to, you can also leave us a ring review on Apple Podcasts or Podcast Addict, of course. And we'd like to thank our producer, Gwen, who also did the theme song for this show. She's great.
Yeah.
Welcome, Gwen.
We're getting ready to record the first episode of Quack Stack, the premium show that she's going to be on with us.
Yeah. So if you are at the $10 level, look forward to that. I think that's about it.
I think so.
Yeah. We love you. But that's not the sign off.
No, it's not. Yeah, no, I was trying to think of a way to work it in. I was actually waiting for you to prompt me, and then I realized I can just ask you. Hey, man, I'm going through an old storage unit. Is there anything you want me to look for?
Oh, sure. I found out recently that Dungeons and Dragons released a pinball cabinet. They're pretty rare, and it's a beautiful piece of art.
Oh.
I know. I just don't remember it, and I know I really wanted to have it in there, and now I'm like, I don't know. I'm a mercurial little bee.